Hello, hello. Thanks, guys. I ate half of it, but then also I got a little phone call that was very important that I was not expecting. So, I appreciate your patience. Today is a tardy morning, as long as I'm on time for clients later. I think I work until like 10:30 tonight. So maybe I was supposed to sleep in. How are all of my lovely community? This is Pisces for February into March reading. Whenever you find this, really, that's when your guides wanted you to find it, and there's probably some little silly thing that I will say that will resonate or flip a switch that's helpful to you, because your guides will take you to the messages that you're supposed to hear. Let's see. We are looking at your energy, the energy that like dropped you off to this now moment, anything that contributed to how you're feeling before you're watching this. That could be last week, last month, and all of the last couple of years, depending. And then we are looking at your energy that's available to you now in the next couple of weeks. And then we're looking into the energy you will step into. And then we're looking at other, and other is simply the energy of the person or thing, or the other energy most on your mind affecting your energy. Can be romantic, but it could also be like mother-in-law, work, whatever is affecting your energy the most right now. Life changes, finances, whatever, and the things behind that force. It also can be you and the demons that you either struggle or snuggle with as you try to step out of or step into different, healed versions of you. So it was absolutely delicious. I'm saving the other half for after Pisces. And then there's more dough, so I'll make fresh bagels for the family. You can also look at your 12th house for this reading, if that is helpful to anyone. I will put the recipe up if you want. I can show. So last night I did not have the energy to do the extra step because it's also messy. But when I go back and make more bagels, because I made a whole bunch of dough, when I'm done with this to make them for the kids, I will boil them, because bagels are supposed to be boiled in water with a little baking soda, and then bake them. And it makes the inside even fluffier. But they are, and you can do it with a good quality gluten-free flour if you want. And then they're gluten-free. Then they're really just very low carb and full of protein and nutrients. They're super high protein, actually. Between Greek yogurt, just using Greek yogurt and flour, and you can either use self-rising flour, or you can put baking soda in it. But maybe I'll make a little video and put it on the channel of how exactly I do it. But the reason why I egg everything bagels, good thing Pisces came for a reading, because we're talking about food. The thing about egg everything bagels that are amazing, and if you've ever had one, they're really not, I never find them outside of New York. It's very rare if I do. But they're sweet. So I use raw honey in my recipe, but others will use sugar. And sometimes in a bad bagel chain in New York, even though they'll have them, they'll be dyed egg and they won't taste the same. But in a good place, I actually worked in 2 really good places One when I was really young, we had a line out the door. And then one when I was really old because kids in college and I took on a third job. And also had a line out the door. So I know what a good bagel tastes like. If I wasn't doing this, I would definitely be cooking, baking. Okay, you want it. Try to pop out 3 times. All right, Pisces, we almost have all the cards on the table. I actually make butters. I'll get like the really good quality butter, and then I caramelize red onion and then add balsamic to it and then mix that into a butter. I make all kinds of butters and cream cheeses. I used to make the cream cheeses at the bagel place. But yeah, ooh, we like that. Okay, so Pisces. This is a nice reading. I couldn't wish it on a better bunch of people. 12th house energy. It's funny. It's like it's bumpy. And it's like you've been getting resistance from whatever this other energy is. And then honestly, Pisces, I think when you least expect it, you're just, there's going to be a 180 in the situation in a good way, in your favor. You know me, I'm so pragmatic. I'm like, no wonder only 7 people show up for my readings, because I'm not always telling you they're coming. They're coming and they love you and they want you back, right? Like, I'm all about like, let's look into the whys and let's be kind to ourselves while we can like shift things and all of that, which I feel like is good. But if you're looking for a reader to just always tell you that like next month you're getting married, that's probably not me. So for me to sit here and go, wahoo, I like that. I like that universe is giving me the authentic opportunity to be like, yeah, Pisces. Okay. There's a whole deck of cards missing. This kind of feels like it always happens. And I don't know what I have done with them. Unless I knock them over and they're on the other side on the floor. Totally a possibility. Okay. Let's get into this. Water finished. Now I can move on to coffee. Hi, Jaretha. I have to tell you, I feel like I can tell this to Pisces. Like, you don't even understand how much I would love to have like some kind of thing. I used to say I was going to retire into a bed and breakfast. That's when I was young and dumb. And I thought I wanted to like, you know, wait on other people hand and foot for the rest of my life. But I still would love to have like a weekend, like rent some cabin someplace, and like I want to make like the good coffee for everyone and homemade bagels for everyone and like do breakfast. And so I'm not taking that off. Like, I know, well, I said when I get to 1,000, we're getting closer and closer all the time. I'm going to have like a Zoom block party for the people. And I mean that. I try not to talk out my ass, so this way I can like actually cash the checks that I write with my mouth. But I'm gonna make that a 3-year goal. That at some point there can be like, even if it's like, I don't want to say camping trip, glamping or something. And then I think it's the Cancer thing. I want to like mom everybody. I want to like give everybody a hug. Hi, Moanne. I want to give everybody a hug and feed them. Right? Like, and like, what if we had like 48 hours where we created this incredibly safe, warm, like environment where everybody's being like feeding their vessels and honoring their vessels, and everybody does deep work and it's beautiful. Like, I think that's a 2 or a 3-year goal. All right. I'm going to put this on the page, but please tell me, because I know a lot of people are always saying like, oh, I missed it, or I almost missed it. I have an email subscription. Like, in other words, I can make different categories, and you guys are all like, stop mansplaining how an email subscription works, please, Susie. But in other words, I can get like a section of people. If you guys want to just be notified when I go live, I don't know how many sections. Like, it could be if you just want water signs or air signs. But if you don't want like a million other emails, but you just want to know if I'm going live until I can get to some kind of regular schedule, please drop me a comment when this is over, or email me or contact me through the website, which is probably, it's SuzzyEvolutionary.com, and there's a contact form, and just say, please. And I know I've asked people to do this before. I have to make like a community post. So you won't like, you can tell me what exactly you want to be contacted for. Hi, Samantha. I know Samantha told me to spam her and spam her hard, but I don't want to spam you people. And also, you'll have an opt-out version. There'll be like, please don't send me any more emails. And I'll do a little survey thing to see like what you want and what you don't. But like, if you want to know when I'm going live, especially because, again, until I get like back into a rhythm, which, you know, I have to just kind of, I don't want to overpromise like I'm going to be here at this time, and every tarot reader that I know that did that ended up coming out of that, because you don't want to feel ever like you're showing up to channel for a lovely community like under pressure. So just, you know, go onto the website, go down, you can hit the contact on the header or scroll down to the bottom, whatever. And just say, you know, put me on the email list for videos. You can expand upon that if you like. Okay. Starting Pisces. So we have a beautiful sun card for Pisces. Which I love. Now, for Pisces, this could be a few things. One, it could mean you're dealing with like a Leo or a Leo energy, but I think that there's been, you know, Neptune, there's been some nice aspects to Venus. I think we had Neptune Venus all last week. So Pisces energy, actually we did, because I was talking to my friend Lana, who's like Lana's Enchanted Sky. She's the one who does mundane predictions I was talking about last night. But she's got a Pisces moon, and she was like, holy cow, like she felt like every 5 minutes she needed a notepad for all the things that were coming in for her. And she had Neptune Venus, a lot of things, you know, were going well. Neptune Venus conjunct her moon in Pisces, which is really nice. But so there's been a Venus Neptune conjunction, which is just going to feel nice. And also, if there's been any heavy energy, it's going to feel like a break from that heavy energy, which again, I love it for Pisces. Oh, do you know Lana? Yeah. She and I have become friends. We talk often. Yes, she's a Sagittarius Pisces if ever there was one. I'm always yelling at her, like, to stop being so nice. So the sun, it could feel like a little, it could have felt like a little break. It could feel like hope. It can feel like, it can even be as simple, Pisces, as feeling less in that procrastinatory, depressive mode. It could feel like you've had a little bit more energy. It could feel like, and you know what's so funny is that for Pisces, sometimes being around too many people can drain you. So like, depending on where you live, if there's been snow or, hi Mary, or if there's just been like, yeah, weather, you know, things like, you've been home, you may have a chance to regenerate, and then that Neptune Venus conjunction felt really good. On other side, we have a very interesting Empress in reverse. Now, we'll get into the rest of the reading because I really haven't looked other than that last line. I don't know. Sometimes I don't pay attention in the middle, but I see that last line and I'm like, ooh. So we have the Empress. Now, this Empress is interesting because I usually love the Empress card, right? She either feels a whole lot of responsibility or she really doesn't deal with things in the 3D. She's really kind of tapped into that 5D, very Piscean. She's got her attention to the ethers, or it could be the Empress in the way that this is somebody who maybe needs a little bit of an ego death. Could be a little like nose in the air. So we're gonna, we're gonna clarify. I usually don't clarify that first row because it's the energy we're coming out of. So, but we have a 5 of Pentacles in the middle. So now this is somebody, it kind of looks like you're happy. Something that was not in communication came back into communication. You don't feel isolated. You feel accepted, which is really beautiful for Pisces. Feeling like part of feeling part of a group, feeling part of something they want to feel part of. Mary, it's sitting 1 degree in my first house. What does that mean? Mary, what placement? Are you talking about Pisces? Or are you talking about Neptune, or you're talking about Venus in a different sign? Just type out what exactly is sitting at 1 degree in your first house. But we're doing the Pisces reading. I'll be happy to answer like a quick question. Tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern, Connie Jo and I will be live. Ask us anything. Now, if you ask us what color underwear we're wearing, who knows? We might actually tell you. But like, you can ask us anything we want to tell you. No, you can ask us anything tomorrow. So like tomorrow is a great day to bring your astrological placement questions. And because she teases all the time that we're good cop, bad cop. She's very clearly good cop. Your ascendant is at 23 Pisces. That means you probably have very beautiful eyes. That's a question definitely to bring tomorrow at 1:30. But like, we're not going to ask Connie Jo to give us whole astrological readings, but you certainly can ask about like a placement or like a transit. No problem. You can ask us about divination. You can even ask us like, hey, am I going to hear from my person next week? Anything. Anything. And so You can ask us how to get in touch better with your guides. Between the two of us. But tomorrow's a really great day to work into the astrological placement questions. And Connie Jo is master astrologer. The lovely human that she learned from went to Oxford. So her astrological knowledge is insane. She's very, very humble about it. Super brilliant. All right. So again, we look like somebody who maybe needed an ego death, had an ego death. You're happy about it. And whatever ghosting out in the cold, isolation energy, this has come out of. So this has just happened. It feels like a little recently, right? I'm glad you guys, we want to do more together. We keep saying we need to, we're both so busy. We keep saying we have to get a Zoom together to like list like things and just schedule them. We adore being in each other's energy. So we have the Eight of Pentacles in your now. There's your, you see what I love. See, I think the Eight of Pentacles is a great card. Samantha, feel free to chime in on this in the comments. I think the Eight of Pentacles is a great card. I think it means like doing the work, wanting to do the work. And like we see here, that's her own face, right? So like, this is working knowing what you're working for. And like being like, yes, totally. This is like me being in a session, me doing this, even me like getting some of the back end, doing the graphics for something. Like I had so much fun making the little like, the like Valentine's Day card pull graphic, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna make hearts that'll look like those little candy hearts, right? So like we can there's work that we want to be doing, that we're inspired to do, and we know what the end, like, you know, to work to what end. We know what the end is, and it's something we're all in for. So I personally like the Eight of Pentacles. Some people see it as like, oh, just nothing but work. I don't see the Eight of Pentacles that way. Because I think the Eight of Pentacles is part of our mission. I think it's when we have, yeah, she is, what Samantha is saying, she is on it where she wants to go and what she needs to get her coins. Yeah, it's because it's about the stability and the abundance. To me, it's about just not just the money. It's like the abundance of life. Like this is, the Eight of Pentacles for me is because it's working, right? Sometimes we see it with like the pentacles almost looking like they're in motion kind of here. She's in an action. She's doing something, right? So like it is in this now moment, creating the life that you want to live in. On their side, right? So they had their little ego death. So interesting. They had their little ego death. Now we have the Nine of Wands. A little defensive, maybe feeling a little raw. They built. Listen. This person, you're happy. You're working on you. You're working on like making your life sweet now and feeling like it's showing up, right? Happily doing the work, whether that's on yourself, whatever kind of abundance you're seeking to create. It's in action. And it's also showing up because pentacles are tangible. The only card that is not like that is that Seven of Pentacles, where it's right there, right? But they're annoyed, they're impatient. But Pentacles are tangible. So with this Nine of Wands, we see she's got kind of bandages on her arms. It looks a little bit like there's a fire behind her. Whoever this ego death cost them something. And now they are feeling a little raw. So while you're kind of calmly doing the work, this other energy is a little defensive. It is, I mean, even her stance. But there's new growth in these wands. Do you see the little buds at the top? There's new growth. So there might be communication yet. And here's the funny thing. We have both the High Priestess and the Empress on the table. Whew. Pisces. That is, we have, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Major arcana out of the 9 cards. Right? Because there's one I haven't talked about. Yes, the Sun, the Empress, the High Priestess, and there's another one coming. And then we have 8s, 9s, and 10s, besides that 1, 5, which is in reverse. And we have a Court card. This is and I haven't even clarified anything yet. This High Priestess is in reverse. Both of you ignoring intuition to some degree, but you know, and you're just not engaging in it. To me, and because I'm reading for this community, right? And because I know that I'm constantly saying, like, you guys all have your gifts, trust yourself, use your intuition. So because I know I'm reading for this community, I have to tell you, this High Priestess in reverse feels like you're going to work on yourself. You intuitively know that there are things maybe to like say or want to offer help or whatever, but you can feel the defensiveness. And I think that they have feelings toward you can feel each other, but no one's saying anything. No one's tapping into the intuition. And it's almost like, because it's this community, I'm telling you, that I feel this so strongly. You know how in some readings they'll talk about, oh, the Page of Swords is the internet spying card. And so when we see it in reverse, it means you've stopped looking at their page. You've stopped making yourself sick, reading into or thinking what that picture or what that post means, because it's probably bullshit anyway, right? But like when you have this community, it wouldn't be the Page of Swords in reverse. It would be the High Priestess in reverse, because what you're not doing is constantly trying to tap in. I don't even think that you're like pulling cards all the time, every day, like maybe you used to see how they were doing when it was out of communication. Because at some point it was out of communication. So there's communication now. It's come out of, but everybody's letting things develop as they are, instead of trying to like second guess what the energy is through tapping in. It's almost like it wouldn't even be second guessing. You could tap in and know what the energy is because you're Pisces. But you're not doing it because there's no point. There's such an evolution here, Pisces, and I want to hug all of you, that you know that, okay, I've been there. Right now, they need their defenses up. Right now that they've just been through a rough time. They just had that ego death. I can see the changes in them. I'm not pushing them. I'm not tapping into them. It doesn't matter anyway, because I have to focus on me. I have this. I'm building my abundance. And like, it's okay. You're not mad, right? It is letting go of the ego of constantly needing to know and making sure your reaction. That is why I have an alchemaic row in the middle here. It's because a lot of times you're like, well, they said this, but I can tap in and I know that they're thinking that. So I want to comfort them. So well, then I'm going to say this, and you're not really reacting off what they're showing you or their real energy. It creates this whole third entity within the dichotomy of the relationship, because everybody is acting off the energy that they think the other person needs rather than what they're saying they want or don't want, because sometimes that's not the real energy anyway, right? That happens. But there is like such a huge evolution in this 12th house Pisces community where you're like, I'm not gonna put the energy into tapping, because of what that does is when I'm constantly looking into their energy, it starts to flavor what I'm going to do next with me. And if I'm building and recalibrating my antenna to attract in like matter, hi Adva. If I am rebuilding and recalibrating my antenna to attract like matter, I want that like matter to be always working on themselves and not constantly looking and seeing what somebody else is doing. Woof! I could end the Pisces reading just here, because like that is amazing. That is true evolution. Listen. Sometimes, Pisces at its most unhealthy, 12th house energy at its most unhealthy, can be so much up in the ethers that they have, they can lend their energy to get sucked into like delusions, fantasies, paranoia, hurt their own feelings, upset, right? But that's the unhealthy part of Pisces. When we have a community that's interested in health and in evolution, I don't think what people talk about Pisces the most is that it is Pisces energy at its highest is that Buddha without attachment. If you love a flower, leave it where it is and water it and grow it. And that's what this is doing. I want to cry. This is so beautiful. This isn't just like Pisces energy. This is like the best of Pisces energy. And I'm just going to say it, but the best of Pisces energy is the best energy. The healthiest potential that any Pisces energy has, the healthiest, is, I promise you, goals for the collective. It is that without attachment, with unconditional love, and without judgment, regardless of religion and like organized religions, because I'm not a huge fan of organized religions, but that's for me, and you all do whatever you like it. I love it, right? Whatever keeps you happy, healthy, and sustained. But when we talk about like Christ consciousness, we're not talking about the Catholic religion or the Christian religion. We're talking about a man that the stories told us hung out with the lepers and the prostitutes and fed and did not like capitalism and turned over the tables at the markets, right? We're talking about that kind of energy that says there should not be judgment. There should not be hierarchy. There should just be unconditional love and understanding that everyone's doing the best that they can and going through what they're going through. We can help where we should and not stand for the injustice of when it oppresses, right? Like a Buddha energy. Again, like that, it is that highest octave of that one love consciousness. Pisces, you guys sometimes have a little hard. And sometimes there's that like that rejection in childhood or through life. So like when a Pisces who can really struggle because it's so easy, life can take you into that paranoia. Life can take you into that. It's so, it's ether, it's cotton candy walls. When you guys get here, I want you to make sure you're giving yourselves credit. That is incredible. That's the marathon. That is that's insanely beautiful because you did it through your challenges and made room for other people to have theirs. It's the empath, right? Pisces is so full of empathy and understanding, sometimes why they could have better boundaries. But this is the goat of the energy that we should all want. And I'm clearly a little emotional and very proud of the Pisces community that called this reading in. Because I'm just a vessel. So that's incredible. What we have coming up, and we're going to clarify everything, very interesting. The alchemy in between is the Knight of Wands. Rushing in. Like, and what's funny is at first I did not know how to read this. And then now as I read all the other cards, even before clarification, this last row now makes so much sense. Hi, Miss Pisces. Hi, Maricela. Not gonna lie, if you guys can't tell, I just, for the new people, I kind of woke up and rolled on to Scorpio, so now we're Pisces. You have the Strength card in reverse, Pisces. Now, I know we have the Sun, we have the Eight of Pentacles, we have this, like, I'm not even checking in on them. I'm going to do me and create that. Let them be them and let them have their walls. And I understand. And, I'm not going to pick the flower. I'm going to just let it live, right? And I'm not, because when you're pulling on somebody else's energy too, they feel it, especially if you're connected to a Pisces, like Lana, I said, is a Pisces moon. She will literally be like, I got a message for you at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she'll text me, like, right? Like, if you're connected to a Pisces, you're really connected. So, like, you're feeling each other's energy, but you're letting it be and you're giving it space. And isn't that gorgeous? So while it came out of frozen communication, I don't think that there's like, here, you're ready, you're working on yourself, but they have their defenses up and they're kind of not ready. And then I was like, what is the Strength card in reverse for? Because holy cow, you're doing so good. Why is the Strength? Why are you not feeling strong? And then I realized, well, it's the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is between you. So whatever is going on energetically in an evolution or whatever, you are still humans. You are still in a meat suit and you still have desires. And the Knight of Wands, something happens. I am telling you, coming up, Pisces, I don't care if it's a text. I don't care if it's a mood. I don't care if it's an astrological transit. Something is going to come up and loins in fuego. This Knight of Wands there is some kind of, and you're trying to give them space and you want to make sure that you're working on you and everything is going well. I don't think the Strength is because you're weak. I think the Strength in reverse is because I think you're going to give in to this Knight of Wands. But are you ready for what's on their side? Because I don't think you're ready. The 10 of Pentacles and how perfect. They're like little flowers and they're crawling out of something that looked like it was established. There's new something crawling out. This is my happy ending card. Everybody's trying to be strong. Everybody's trying to give each other space. And then, I don't know, your guide, something else turns on the heat. Brown chicken, brown cow. You give in. And they're like, oh, the hell with it. I love you. Let's do this. That's crazy. I told you that I don't do the sappy. If you want a reader that's going to tell you every month that it finally comes together and you're getting married and all that, that's not me. So for me to I saw this reading and I was like, okay. So the Nine of Wands turns into the Knight of Wands. We have all this major arcana, a court card, and we have 8, 9, 10. The 5 is in reverse. 8, 9, 10, just growth, progress, movement. Do we even clarify this? I don't want to clarify this. I don't want anything. Sometimes we get a reading where I'm like, I don't want to clarify, not because I don't want to give you my extra time, because I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to like make this any different than it is right now, because I love it how it is right now. By the way, Adva, I'm going to need to know where you got a tarot card that has Yoda on it. Please send me like what deck that was and who wrote it. I saw your email right before I went on live and I didn't have time to answer it because I woke up late. But yeah, I'm going to need a set of cards that has Yoda on it. Y'all know I'm a big nerd. Okay. All right, let's clarify it. I feel like they're my rules. I can break them. I am not supposed to have ego. I have no skin in this game. I only have like 2 Pisces placements. They're not like major placements. I do have some 12th house placements, but I mean, like, I don't even have skin in this game. But I feel like I know I'm supposed to. My Virgo rising is like, bitch, clarify. You know you're supposed to. Okay. Not even gonna lie, I'm thinking of like pretty cards. And the cards that I want are the cards that are missing. So maybe I'm not supposed to. Okay, yeah, let's use the Star Tarot. Or maybe I should use Strap. All right, I'm going to let you guys pick. Am I using the Star Tarot, which is this one? I always get a lot of comments when I use this one. Or do I use the Druid Craft? Which is very, like, it's very mythological. Which one am I using? Druid or Star? I'm going to let you guys pick. Okay. 1 vote for Druid. Two votes for Druid. Okay, Druid wins. Sorry, Maricela. And Melissa. Pisces is so ancient. I guess it makes sense for the... I mean, both decks are about ancient. I didn't realize I did that at first. Both decks depict ancient symbolism. Okay. Let's get 3 for this 8 of Pentacles for Pisces. My incredible, lovely, evolving, Buddha-like goat energy Pisces. Let's get 3. Oof. Okay, I like that. No bad cards, no bad cards. I never do that. This reading is so nice. Okay. Nope. If it wanted to come out, it will come all the way out. Any other readers? I know I have Samantha here. Who else like reads tarot at least once a week or a couple of times a month? Do you guys have rules where, like, if it really wants to come out, like if it flips but it doesn't come out, it's not the one? Or do you guys shuffle and deal like cards? Samantha also I've had a reading with her and we discussed tarot and everything. And I was saying, I think somewhere along the way, I would really like to have, like, maybe it'll have to be like every 8 weeks. But every 8 weeks that I have a show where I have a guest that also reads tarot so that they can, you know, get a chance to read for other people. Right? And we could have like a guest tarot, because I feel like even though I have a tiny platform, it's going to grow, and then I should give other people the chance to decide if this is for them. Right, you just take flyers. What I'm saying is if it flies up and back into the deck, do you take it? Like if I can't contain it, that's one thing. I'm just curious. I mean, there's been times where I've taken things, put them back in, and they fly back out again. Well, that's the point. So Melissa said, I don't have anyone to read for, so I'm not accurate, right? So like if I'm offering, it's like anything, right? So if I'm offering that I'm going to have a guest star and you guys can ask questions, right? Then part of that would be as part of that free questions or part of those free little tarot readings. Like maybe we do more of a mini reading than just free questions. And then part of that is that you can send to email feedback to the reader, whichever the guest reader is. How's that sound to everyone? Although I mean, I have my tarot reading, I felt like got infinitely better when I realized it didn't matter if I was right or wrong. Because it's not for me to judge. It's just for me to give the information. I've gotten letters and feedback from people 6 months later. Because when I was saying it, I sounded crazy. They thought I was crazy. And they were like, none of that resonates. And then 6 months later. So like, we're not supposed to judge the timing. We're not supposed to, right? But still, if people wanted feedback, we could just make that. How's everybody, like, tell me how that feels. Of course, Samantha, you would be the first guest because you're the one who inspired the idea. Right? But I want to, like, there's so many ways that we can all give back to each other. Okay. I think that's fun. Yeah, I agree, Moanne. Yeah, okay. So let's look at the clarifications. And this is why somebody's like, you should do shorter readings. I agree. But this is all what happens. Maybe I'll just do like 1 card interpretations and do like little 5-minute things. I have a whole list of shoulds. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords in reverse, which I like on this 8 of Pentacles. No more drama. They're Mary J. Bliging it. Pisces, you're Mary J. Bliging it. No more drama in your life. 5 of Swords in reverse. Not doing it. Can't suck me in. I'm not fighting with you. You can have a fight by yourself. You can hold all the swords. That's great. I'm not doing it. You go ahead, fight with yourself. Find somebody else to fight with. Brings us Justice and the Magician on that 8 of Pentacles. Loving, 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 loving the clarification. The Justice came out sideways. So here's how I feel about that. The Magician just means, and like I love, do we not love the Saturday Night Live magician? Like at Stonehenge. It's like he's giving a concert. I love him. Connie Jo did a a quickie reading for me, because we do that for each other all the time. I want to say like 6-7 months ago, and we'll text each other like the pictures of the cards so we can see the artwork, and I was like, what the heck is that? And I fell in love with it. So Justice's face perplexes me. I wish this focused in better. I have a real camera. I might have to like figure out how to use to do readings. It's like, okay, we're getting justice. I'm tired. And this wasn't even as good as I thought it was going to be. It came out sideways. And I try to honor the sideways cards. I feel like, and I'm saying she's tired because she's sitting, and Justice usually is not sitting. There's wisdom here too. The wisdom is sitting with her. There's a spider on the bottom. And the scales are real small. It's almost like she looks disillusioned. Like, I don't know that was worth it. All the justice I wanted. I think the justice coming out sideways is just extra period on the Five of Swords in reverse. This was not, so we have the Magician and the Eight of Pentacles in the upright. And then we also have the Five of Swords in reverse and this Justice sideways, where she looks like that was not worth the fight. You're welcome, Shauna. I'm so happy. And we have the solar light in the little hobbit house, right? Because my house is that color. It's like a teal kind of, like a deep, deep turquoise. It's hard to, I love that we don't look like the rest of the houses on the block. But so it's right on the front porch. So every time somebody like delivers groceries, or we get a UPS or Amazon, somebody's like, oh, that's cool. Love them. So with this Nine of Wands in the defensive, what's interesting is your original card was the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. They're not in a good place right now. I promise you it changes, Pisces. Like all of it comes back at you because you are building, you are recalibrating that tower that creates the attraction, cohesion, like matter attracting like matter, and you working on what your matter is. I promise you it brings beautiful rewards. Right now, this person, not in a great place. Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which, you know, I don't look at Eight of Pentacles in reverse as lazy. How I see Eight of Pentacles in reverse is exhausted, procrastinatory, depressive mode. I refuse to say lazy. Unprocessed feelings. You know, sickness in our body. We hold trauma in our body. Energy zapped. All of that. Like, is it worth it? Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords. Worrying. What's interesting because we can have both, right? I always say life is not black and white. It's a Venn diagram. Also, while this is happening, we have them working on their Nine of Cups. There's still the thoughts that keep them up at night. They're in defensive mode. Of course they are. And the Nine of Cups also works for me for that Nine of Wands, because not the fact that they're just not both. We have 3 nines here. So when you feel the Nine of Wands and you feel your defense is up, you feel the need to build within, so no one can knock these cups down. I actually love the Nine of Cups, and I think it's the precursor to long-lasting love. Eight of Pentacles and Nine of Cups kind of have a little bit of the same vibe for me. it's also coming with the Nine of Swords, because while you're working on that, that's precious to you now, those Nine of Cups. And you're defensive of them. A little worried. I can't let anybody in. I can't let anybody in. I can't let anybody in. This guy goes around chicken brown cow, and yeah, you let somebody in the other person. And then we have this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, like tired, because it took a lot to build those Nine of Cups. The energy that you're walking into when the strength is the Four Cups in reverse, whatever, unrequited. This is Four Cups in reverse and Five Pentacles again in reverse for me. Very similar vibe. But we also have the Nine of Pentacles and another Sun card. You start with the Sun and finish with the Sun, right? So like the unrequited feels a little bit like you're gonna give into it because it was unrequited. You have the Sun card, you're feeling good, and then the Nine of Pentacles. We have all 4 nines on the board. The Nine of Pentacles in the upright is understanding you are the abundance. It is such confirmation about recalibrating the tower and inviting in that your like matter would attract somebody else who's also done the work, had the ego death, done the work. I love that. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Okay. Now, on their 10 of Pentacles, we have a King of Pentacles. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse. They're starting to let go of their anxiety. I like this because we have the Nine of, so like this is stability. We want this. We want this. So the Queen of Cups came out in reverse. That doesn't make them completely, it just means they're like, if it's stable, I want it. I'm wise. I built the Nine of Cups. I built the, I want the 10 of Pentacles. I want the stability. They are afraid of the love bombing, which who isn't? Well, if you were watching Scorpio's reading, I was talking about how, like, I think we're all a little sus of love bombing these days because we realize we want things. We don't need the ego stroke, and we don't need to be in expectation mode. So we don't need to hear, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice? Like, either it's nice or it's not. If you want to talk about what everybody wants out of a relationship, that's totally fine. But to just keep feeding like, oh, one day I'm going to do this and one day I'm going to do that. Like, be about it, or, or stop talking about it, bruh. Like, right? So this Queen of Cups doesn't shock me for somebody who's going through all of this. And they're still trying to get rid of the Eight of Swords. But it's still 10 of Pentacles. So they might not be schmoopy, love, right? Which Pisces would prefer and might take personally if they don't get. And think like, why don't you love me? Or look for, the absence of the Knight of Cups kind of language towards them to think they're pulling back, there's somebody else, right? That would be like a Pisces thing to do. But you know why that's not happening this time? Because you are the Nine of Pentacles, because you were doing the work, because you're feeling good about yourself, and you're not constantly looking at their energy. Well, they're saying that, but they're doing that. They're saying that, but they're doing that. Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. I love this. Right. This is just, it's just the Queen of Cups. They haven't completely settled in to the safety. So they are giving you their time. They are giving you their commitment. And when their heart feels safe, that Queen of Cups will turn around. It's the fear of investing too much emotionally, truly. Because I know that sounds crazy. How can you have the 10 of Pentacles and not have the... Because you can. because you can. I'm a Cancer, and I'm here to tell you, sometimes when something doesn't feel safe, that Queen of Cups totally gets, because especially if you've ever been in defensive mode. I've had plenty of ego deaths. I feel like there's a difference between having defenses up and being defensive. I talked about that last night. And I think sometimes, you know, old Suzzy, and when I'm saying old Suzzy, I'm saying 5 years ago, I had just found my strength in a lot of ways. My dad had died. I held his hand. Life seemed different. Life seemed different. And the things that used to just send me didn't shake me as much. Didn't the person I had, my person, I lovingly sent him off to transition. That'll change a person. But what I was doing was, people would be like, oh, you won't really have that boundary. You're too nice. And I would be like, I killed that bitch. She was stupid. There's a new sheriff in town. I don't take anybody's bullshit. I don't have time for it. Life seemed very short, and I wasn't messing around giving my energy anymore. But it was that is defensive. That is, I had my walls, I had my defenses up, I was protecting myself, and I was letting everybody, put everybody on blast, put everybody on notice that I was not everybody's walking mat anymore, right? But eventually I needed an ego death from that. Because when you walk around like that all the time for a sustained amount of period, somebody's going to get caught in your pain. Somebody is going to get caught in not wanting that pain again. Somebody, the wrong person, is going to get caught. And I needed a little bit of an ego death to realize I didn't have to fight everyone all the time. It was okay. I could breathe again. I was safe. And it took for me to feel safe internally, completely strong, stable, internal 9 of Cups, that I could soften up a little bit again and feel safe to do that. So ego deaths are not a character assassination nor a judgment of any one person that they acted like an idiot, that they were too bold, that they were mean to other people, that they were cocky in a way that harms others. That's not what ego death means. It means we heal from something, we create the barricades, just like I said, the construction fences around when they're building a new building. When you have to rebuild something, you need those construction fences, right? You have the defenses up, and then once it gets strong enough, those defenses can come down again, and you have to see what you acclimated to in order to keep those. Well, it's a lot of work to keep walls up. What did you adapt? What did you acclimate to? And how is it not serving you, and certainly not serving the others that don't deserve the vitriol and the hard wall, the hard no? Right? And so then we just need a little ego death. It's healthy to have ego deaths for little small things. Because if we refuse the ego death for little small things, what happens? At some point, we need a huge ego death, which feels like it breaks us. It makes our brain not feel safe. It makes our way of, right? So where do we get to that sweet spot of safety, unconditional love, not judging others, but also not exchanging with people that aren't healthy for us, and just letting them be? That is the best of Pisces energy. That sweet spot, all of that in that Venn diagram, because life is not black and white. Life is not black and white. Life is not black and white. And it's okay not to be right. And it's okay to change your mind. And it's okay to say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this forever. And then you don't do it forever because you internally change to a place where that no longer suits you. and then giving everybody else the right to say, I'm also not doing this forever. When we don't judge ourselves and we don't judge, the best part about stopping judging others is that you will stop judging yourself. Because I promise you, and I mean, there are people that I judge. I judge hateful people. I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter shirts. I judge racists. I absolutely do. There are people that I judge. I judge animal abusers and children. I do. Right? Even though I work in trauma and I know something contributed to that early environment that made them a hateful, awful person. The best of Pisces energy knows how to love that person that I can't love yet. I'm not there yet. But for me to sit here and pretend that I am, right, would require me to step into a facade that isn't authentic, that eventually I will need an ego death from. Do you see how that all works? It's just life. And the more that we observe the conditions, like the avocado, instead of judging it and shaming, we would never shame the avocado for going rotten. Stupid fucking avocado. We don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself, Pisces. You're so brilliant. You can have existential, you can see the cosmos. You can see yourself looking out on the cosmos. If any placements, 12,000 Pisces, you guys are so brilliant. Your minds are so expansive. Your ancient ruler is Jupiter. So like, if any sign can do it, that leads the example, again, that is the goat of that energy, it's Pisces. But be gentle with yourself on that road. You're capable. I love you, now you love you, Pisces. I don't think we need an oracle card. I think I just spoke the oracle card that felt very channeled. And I'm honoring that right now. I hope you will all join me tomorrow at 1:30 p.m. Eastern for Connie Jo and I, the amazing, incredible, my peach, Connie Jo and I, ask us anything. She could do that all by herself. She don't really need me, but we do things together. So, but it's a Connie Jo opportunity. I would not miss it if I were you. And you know what? You don't have to worry about dissolving the parts of ego that once protected us, because it's, the brain will do and tell you what to do to keep your body safe, to keep you here, to keep you not in dark thoughts. And so sometimes those construction fences are necessary. And when they are, just don't judge that either. Those were the conditions. At some point, there were bad conditions that made your avocado rot a little bit. Now you're building better conditions, Okay. I could talk about this stuff forever. I probably need to do a different show on it. Maybe I'll do a show on ego death. Please, 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 this channel is for you guys. I can't say that enough. I'm clearly not attached to how many likes. I mean, I like the likes. I like to share the work. If you want to share the video, great. But the channel truly is for you guys. And I do believe if you build it, they will come and the right people will wander in and they will hear the right things. But please leave me comments, not in a live chat. Leave me comments anywhere else about what you want to see. It's easier. I appreciate the emails telling me what kind of shows, but it's easier for me if I can look and see a tally on a post or on a video. And I will see you all tomorrow. And if you don't get to show up for tomorrow, somebody might ask a question about a placement that you have also. So it's definitely worth watching in replay. I can't even imagine the information that's going to come out tomorrow. So, and it's all going to be decided by you guys. You guys are writing the script for us tomorrow. All right. Bye, everyone.